Alright guys, so today we're going to do a little comparison between Supercross the game 1 and 2. So the other day I was kind of thinking to myself, hey, what would happen if you made an identical track in the track editor in both games, used the same rider, same bike, had the bikes tuned the same where you just use the default stock settings, medium gear ratio, and just everything was the same. Which game would you be faster in? Which one would have the faster lap time? And I was just really curious because, yes, the games are the same, but I don't know, they're a little bit different too. So 3 laps in Supercross the game 2 on that track, and then 3, 4, 5 laps in the first game. So you're going to see the Supercross the game 2 first here and see which one is faster. Alright guys, so here we're going to show you a top-down view of the track in the second game, and we're going to show you a top-down view of the track in the first game, so you can kind of compare and really see that the tracks are virtually identical. They are very, very, very close. The biggest difference is probably the start straight here. The start straight shape is a bit different from the first game and the second game, but the main thing is that the distance from the landing of the finish line, you can see it to the right there, around the first turn to the first jump of the first rhythm section is pretty darn close. So that's really the only difference. The spacing of the jumps is the same, the actual jumps are the same, the sections are the same, everything's the same. Everything is the same. We turned a 32.7, so that's our first lap. We have 2 more for you. They are very similar, but as we go on, the laps are from descending, because as we go along, our laps do get faster. We turn our faster lap here in the second game on our third lap, and we are using a stock default bike setup with the medium gear ratio. And we do use Marvin Muscan, the pro rider, for both tracks. Now, yes, it is a very easy, simple track, but I want to be able to, I guess, turn the same lap over and over and over again. I want to be consistent. I don't want to have a bunch of mistakes. And I had to make sure that we used stuff, I guess, jumps, sections in the second game that are also going to be in the first game. I mean, we're not going to put the pool, we're not going to use sand sections, stuff like that. It's not in the first game, so I had to make sure whatever I used here was also in the first Supercross. We got it right, we made sure. I kind of remembered what was in the first game, so it wasn't really that big a deal, but really easy, boring track. It's just simply for the comparison of which track, which game we are going to be faster on. Our fastest lap at a 32.367. So here we're going to switch over to the first game. You have a top-down view of the track here. You can see the shape of the start straight is a little bit different, but distances should be about the same. Now, even though the tracks are identical, it did feel different, okay? It had been a really long time since I played the first game. This first section here was just straight up easier to get in the first game. It was a bit harder to do in the second game. And obviously, where I felt like it was faster was the corners. So you can hit the corners, you could go through them so much faster. It was so much easier to turn the bike in the first game than it was the second game. Now, it has grown on me. I really love how it is in the second game after playing, but it does feel faster in the first game. We already turned a 31.381. Okay, so we're already turning a faster lap in the first game than we did in Supercross 2. But I do feel like if I did play long enough and worked hard at it, I maybe could drop below 32 in the second game. Like maybe get a high 31, like a 31.8, 31.9. But the same could be said for this game. If I worked at it hard enough, I might be able to drop it into the really, really low 31. I mean, we already are into the low 31s, and maybe we could even drop it below 31 into the high 30s. So we're basically, if you keep watching, it ends up being about a second faster in this game, the first one, as opposed to the second game. I mean, it's way closer than I thought. I was really expecting it to be a lot faster in the first game. So, I mean, it pretty much says that the games are very similar, but the first game is a tiny bit faster, and I believe where a lot of that is going to be made up is in the corners and in the gearing. So we're using the medium gear ratio in both games, but it feels like you can short shift the bike a little bit more in the first game as opposed to the second game. I find myself leaving it in second or third a bit longer. Otherwise, it feels like the bike will bog down a tiny bit. And just because it was like this for me doesn't mean you're not faster in the second game. It's just how it turned out for me. So I'm really curious. If you guys try this, let me know. Let me know which game you were faster in, which one you turned the faster lap time in, the first game or the second game. For me, it was the first game, but for you, it very well could be the second game. So you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy. At the end of the video here, you are going to see a direct comparison fading back and forth between both games, so you can kind of see that as well. Well, it's happening right now. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.